Welcome back to Soul Talk. And today I'm super excited because we have Jenny Laroche from NBC's hit series Smash. She played the role of Sue on Smash, and she is also a former Radio City Rockette. So we have Jenny in the building. Welcome, Jenny. Thank you so much for coming. I just can't wait to just get into everything that we have to talk about. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Great. Okay, so let's just jump in. When did you start dancing?
I started dancing at 3 years old. I think my mom just put me in there because I wouldn't stop dancing around the house.
Okay.
And I started in like gymnastics and tap and ballet,
Right.
And then progressed from there.
Right. Like all of us probably. So did you always know that you wanted to be a professional dancer?
You know, I knew I wanted to perform, but I didn't know if I wanted to be a professional dancer. I didn't really know what that meant. Right. So I kind of grew up on like the Janet Jackson days, the like, if I was your girl, so I knew that I loved that. And I loved watching music videos back when music videos were on TV all the time.
Right.
And I would like jam out. Like I wanted to sing like Whitney, dance like Janet, and just like be Gloria Estefan. Like, growing up in Miami, that was like my zhuzh. But I didn't know what it meant to be a professional dancer. It wasn't like something that was really discussed. Exactly. Like, how do you have this career? You just fall in love with it. Like, we all did as kids. Like, I just want to dance and live my dreams. But then you're like, how do I get there?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So.
That's interesting because I was the same way. I didn't know. I never said anything that I wanted to be when I was a kid. I was never like, ooh, I want to be this. I think maybe one time I said I wanted to be an ice skater, but I don't feel like
ice skater.
But I didn't grow up in a house with cable, so I didn't see music videos, but I so wanted to be a fly girl. Like it was, I still to
Living
this day.
Color, yes.
We should bring in Living Color back and have Fly Girls, and we should just do it so we can be a part of it. But I completely
agreed.
understand just that feeling of wanting to dance and not really knowing what that means career-wise. The only thing my family knew was like kind of Alvin Ailey type of thing, and they were like, well, do you want to go that route? And I always knew that wasn't really for me, but I didn't know that there was this whole other world of professional dance that you could have, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
when did you realize, I guess, when did you know that you're going to be professional?
When did I know? Well, so leaving high school, my love for dancing and being on stage and like creating numbers and, like I remember doing Sweet Charity and just like playing that Helena, like I knew I wanted more of it, and I knew I wanted to pursue my career if I could. Again, didn't really know what that meant by high school. So for me, like my first major step of like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I don't know how to get there, but I'm just gonna follow my path that I want to create for myself. And it was choosing like a college and majoring in dance and discovering, what that meant. Like if I was going to do concert dance and be a part of that world, because I really, that really wasn't my zhuzh as much. I loved musical theater and I loved commercial dance. I fell in love with concert dance in college for sure. Like it opened up this whole new world that I got to study all these different techniques, and oh my God, like the movement quality, it meant so much more than just like kickball change across the floor, that I had been doing. Local dance studio, that's like kind of where I grew up, and it's kind of same story that a lot of people have. But I think my technique was like finessed and refined when I went to college, and I just gained more knowledge about the art and the craft of it all that gave me more of a platform to be like, oh, this is what the kind of career I could have. And I just got to like be more specific with what I really wanted to do in the art.
Yes, love that you made that statement, because there's an ongoing conversation sometimes I hear around the convention circuit really is, should I go to college for dance? Do I need a degree in dance? And you'll hear a lot of people who don't have dance degrees say, well, I don't have one and I've been able to make it, which is true. You don't need a degree in dance to be a dancer. But I agree wholeheartedly when I went to grad school. So I went to Spelman for undergrad and did not major in dance because my family was like, don't major in dance. But I still performed, and I ended up moving to LA anyway and dancing. And then I went to grad school for dance. I got a master's in dance. And I feel like my artistry in dance is so much stronger, even though I know that I'm a commercial dancer and that's what I prefer. But my storytelling is richer, and you know what I mean? Like just the way that I'm able to structure movement or just even speak about movement, I think is...
You can actually articulate movement, like different forms of it, different techniques. It makes a world of difference. So I feel like you just said it. It's the huge difference between kind of an amateur dancer and a knowledgeable dancer. And I get the same question as well. Like I judge a lot of dance competitions also whenever I can. And we always do Q&As. That's kind of what brought me to create the Laroche Approach, because I feel like young dancers really do ask important questions. And it's always the question of, I want this so bad. This is my dream. I want to live on the stage and make a career out of it. How do I do that? How do I go about it? Like, when do you get an agent? What's the difference between an agent and manager? Like all those kinds of questions. So I love being able to answer them. And that question is always asked. Is there a point to going to college for dance? And for me, it was really beneficial. I felt like I had a lot to learn. I think it really did develop who I am as an artist. Like you said, like I can articulate more. Just even when I choreograph or when I create, my movement is better because it's more storytelling, and I'm not just doing a bop ma where like the music is grounded and the music is, telling you something different and it's darker. Like you're just able to, like blend these worlds together of movement, of storytelling, of music, and musicality. Like all of that is so important and beneficial. And I definitely gained that skill set in college. It's not necessary. I know plenty of people that college is not right for. I think you have to be a patient person, and you have to be able to, college is going to give you the skills that you need to create a career for yourself. But if you're not the kind of disciplined person that can use those skills and you need someone to kind of focus you, it might not be for you. Right. So that's kind of what I tell people out of high school, especially in the convention world. Like it's so different. It's not as, you're not wearing these rhinestone costumes when you're doing, the performances, or whatever like semester qualifications you need. Every university is different, but totally different world. It's not the convention world, but you're going to gain a lot from it. It's personal choices, I guess. I
didn't even realize it, but okay, we'll move on in a second, but I'm just so glad that you even brought that up. I think the most important thing that I may have gained from my grad school experience or having attended a university for dance is that the value of research to inform your story, or before I went, I was just dancing. I was putting skill after skill after skill, right? Just dancing, because that's what you do in a competition world, right? You just dance because the music sounds good and you kind of maybe have a vision of what you see to a song, but to actually have your movement or the story that you're telling grounded in real life in an actual researched truth makes it so strong and real and profound, and I can carry it over into everything that I'm doing, because really what I've learned is that the audience relates to the realness of your story. Exactly. You know what I mean? When it comes from a real place and not just, look at me and look how high this is and look how great it is, but more purposeful, I think, is what I'm looking for.
More purposeful, it's more fulfilling, it's more enriching, and it's not just, empty.
Empty,
like lost over this is what, and I mean, you can see it. I'll say this on my tapes as well. If I'm judging or what I want to see is storytelling, you as the artist, what do you have to offer? And it's very rare when I get that. So what you're really seeing at a lot of dance competitions and a lot of conventions is you're seeing the movement that the choreographer gave you. And it's easier for a judge or for a teacher to pick apart because there's nothing there. And you're just watching what was given to you. And clearly you were told to run from stage right to stage left, but there's nothing behind. What are you running for? What are you going?
There's no intention. Yes.
Yeah, there's no intention. And that's what's, I think you gain that purpose and you gain the, you know, just the skill of what that even means and how to approach it, through higher education.
Awesome. Perfectly said. Very, very nice.
Oh, thanks, doll.
So you said your first step for you was to attend a college and you got a degree. What was the program you attended?
I went to SUNY Buffalo and I got my BFA. Yes.
Nice. So then let's say, what do you think was your first, I guess, big break, or what was your first job maybe after college?
So I feel like I have not had my big break yet.
Really? And you've done some great things.
Yeah, I've done amazing things. I am very, very, very happy with my career and what I've done thus far. I think it's personally dangerous when you said you've had your big break, because then you have nowhere to go from there. So I've made huge strides. Right out of college, one of the first things I auditioned for was Radio City Rockettes, and I booked it. It was my first professional contract. Yay! I did that for about 4 seasons, not consecutively, and I toured and I performed at the music hall, which was like always on my bucket list. And it was amazing. I got to work with Linda Haberman, and I got to do, you know, it was just really, really awesome to be a part of such a legendary troupe. But I also knew I wanted more. And I think that's the hungry artist in me. Like, I've always been hungry for different genres and different kinds of jobs. I've never just had the dream of just being on Broadway. There's nothing wrong with it, but I've just always been hungry for doing different jobs. I feel like that's how, you know, you become a more knowledgeable artist. You challenge yourself because you're never doing the same kind of movement. And so it's staying fresh and alive for you. So after Radio City, I knew I wanted to do more musical theater and not just dance. I wanted to sing more. I wanted to act more. And the hardest thing probably in our business, in show business, coming from the dancer side of the world, is being pigeonholed as just a dancer. Yeah. So that was a huge challenge. So I found it a huge success of mine to be given the role of Sue on Smash, where it was the first time I was acknowledged as an actress, dancer, singer. Like, it was great. I was like, yes, I've made it. This is the first step. So yeah, I consider, I guess, Smash to be life-changing for me, because people saw me being able to do multiple things. Like, and yeah, it always takes you getting the job and someone kind of validating your skills for other people to kind of notice that. So it was great. And then from there, I did more musical theater. Another huge accomplishment was performing at the Metropolitan Opera House. Like, I had never done an opera. So for me to be a principal on an opera, singing with, sharing the stage with Renee Fleming. I mean, I know Renee Fleming, but it was huge. And, you know, and then again, from there, where do you go? Where do you grow? So yeah, I don't think I've had a big break yet, but I've had some special moments.
Yeah. Were you, did you perform at the Tony Awards recently?
I did, yes.
So I promise I'm not a creeper, but I watched It's random. I watch almost all the award shows, and I'm only there for the performances, okay, because I'm a dancer, and and I just watch the performances, and I just happened. I was like, oh, she looks familiar. I wonder, and it was after we had already talked about. I don't know what it was after, actually. We hadn't said we were going to talk here yet, but maybe I was going through the working dancer group, and I was like, oh, I saw your post about the Laroche Approach, and then maybe you were just on my mind. I don't know why, but I think I saw you. So another great project.
You did. Tony's was also clearly on my bucket list. That was a huge deal. And I got to do the opening number, and it was amazing that it was the 70th year anniversary. Like, I think especially as a kid, like if you ever grew up watching the Tony Awards, my family's more of like a sports family. So, usually there was always a game also on, like sneak away and like, but I knew, like, especially living in this city, that I would love to perform at the Tonys. So I got to do that weeks ago, and it was a huge event and a huge night. There were a lot of big wins, and
it was epic.
The opening number was this whole montage of all these like famous musicals and legendary musicals. So it was fun to kind of play the many faces of Jenny and where I got to do the Lion King and the Sound of Music, and then we did like a big old 42nd Street number. Yeah, so it was fun.
That is so great.
Yeah.
So, we've done tons of things, a range of projects, which I think is amazing. So how do you think that you stay working? What is it that you feel like, and I'm sure there's not any one thing that you say that you attribute to the reason that you continue working, but what, for an aspiring dancer or someone starting out, what could you say is the reason that you've been able to do as much for as long?
Yeah. I think I stay hungry. I stay, as much as I can, a student. Always willing to learn, always willing to work hard. It's hard, I think, and I watch it happen sometimes. You achieve certain jobs and you achieve certain goals of yours that may make you feel entitled. And it's just not a good habit to have, because there's always someone who has done more, and there's always someone willing to work harder. So you kind of have to, it's about staying humble. It's about keeping the work ethic. And I kind of mentioned before, I've never just been interested in one genre. So I think that's why I'm able to work across the board commercially. This year I got to do the Mariah Carey Christmas show, which was, that's more of the commercial world. And then from there, I did a workshop for King Kong. And then from there, I did Do I Hear a Waltz, which was musical theater. And I got to, and I got to meet Steven Sondheim, which was another career high. But again, like staying auditioning and there were auditions in between that I did not book. So that's also the part that I feel no one really talks about, because it does happen for sure. And I think you just kind of have to know that there's always going to be jobs that are not for you. But as much as you have something to offer that other people do not. And as long as you want to do certain jobs, I don't think people have to categorize themselves as much. Like, I've learned so much from working with all these different choreographers and with all these different directors, and it's fun. So until I find it, not fun, and I just want to stay in one field, who knows, I might never. But, I think that's why I've been able to do as much as I have, and and obviously continue working on my craft and staying fit and staying healthy are all major parts of it.
Absolutely. I think you brought up some amazing points. Staying hungry, staying humble.
but not greedy.
Exactly.
There's such a difference between hungry and greedy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But being open, not putting yourself in a box, is something that I tell my students a lot, because I always hear people come in and say, oh, I'm this type of dancer. I'm losing my light for some reason. I'm this type of dancer, or this is what I'm comfortable with. And I'm like, well, if you want to stay working, you should you should just be a dancer.
That's the thing. I tell students this all the time, and I used to do it too. I used to be like, I'm a jazz dancer. That's what I want to do. It may be your first love, but you're not going to work as heavily as you want to work if you only have one skill. It will never happen, especially in today's world where people are hiring dancers and artists that are more versatile because they can play multiple parts and they can swing a show and they can learn different tracks. You know, that's really essential to a producer who's hiring versus just hiring a specialty, you know, dancer or a specialty, you know, pop and lock that there's nothing else that you can do. We don't really get that kind of red carpet rolled out for us.
Exactly.
Back in the day. But not even, you just have to be versatile and you have to have multiple skills. That's just today's world, and dancers need to acknowledge that and work on it. I think the biggest thing, especially as teachers, we have to work on our students' weaknesses as much as we do their, you know, their strengths.
Right. Yeah. I agree. It's just making me think of my own career, and I just love to dance, so I'll learn any type of style. So they also have to be willing to just be open to learning something else. So you know, I started in the traditional studio road, so that's jazz and tap and ballet, and I didn't touch modern or anything like that, honestly, until almost grad school. But in between that time was obviously hip hop. I grew up in hip hop, so that's basically my expertise. But along the way, I've done musical theater, and I choreograph tons of musical productions now, which is weird because I didn't come from that world. And then I've danced with a samba company, and I've danced with Latin bands, and so I've picked up like salsa and merengue and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And it's just because I love
such hard forms of dance.
Right.
They're so fantastic, and they look way easier than they are to learn. For sure.
So it's key, and I think everything comes full circle, but just staying hungry and staying open, I think, are two great key things that you just said. So let's see. We've talked about how you've stayed working. Let's talk about this. What do you feel like has been your biggest obstacle in your career pursuit or in your just career experience overall?
I'm gonna bring that back to the being pigeonholed. Like, I think that's my biggest obstacle today. Well, yeah, we're going to leave it at that. Like, feeling categorized. I am going more the actor route. I want to do more principal work, which I have been doing and have been asked to do. But at the same time, I'm also asked to do ensemble work. And I think that just comes from the fact that I've done so much of it. And I'm still willing to do it, but now I have to limit it because, working with certain choreographers and certain directors that only see you in that light because that's all you've done with them, it's very difficult for them to then see you as a principal. Like, you do eventually have to kind of choose what road you want to head. And that's an obstacle for me now, I guess, because I'm very ready to be challenged, to be a lead, to, you know, do certain things, but it is a little scary and just a little, you know, I still do plenty of ensemble work and I still love to do it. So and even when I talk to like my agent, or if I'm talking to a casting director and they're like, yeah, if you do want to do more acting and you do want to do these projects, you do have to take off a lot of the dancer credits that I have on my resume, which is also very sad because that's a huge part of me. It's a huge part of how I've gotten as far as I have, gotten. But I guess it's the same in like, if you're in the, I don't know, financial world and you want to be a CEO, you can't really put like that I was an intern and I did all these credit, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of climbing the ladder, but it does feel a little like, oh, okay, I'll take off this credit for this show, that I love doing.
That's interesting. That's a very, I think, interesting insider tip you just shared there.
Yeah, it's something I would have never even thought of before.
Yeah.
You just kind of take, like, I feel like as an artist, you're just open to work and you're open to do the jobs that make you happy.
Yeah.
And you just kind of go along that path. But then once you realize, oh, okay, I want to do more of this, that's when you like start to kind of find out, okay, how do I really get to do more of that? But when people see you in one light, you have to make it super easy for casting directors, I feel like. So that's the only part that's like tough, I guess.
That's so interesting. I guess that's a biggie. So now you're having to deal with possibly letting go of some of your dance credits. So you don't need a separate, I guess no. I was going to say you don't need
I do have separate resumes.
Okay.
I do. Yeah. I have my principal resume and I have my dancer resume, or my commercial resume, I should say.
Okay.
And I have a legit resume. Yeah. And I guess I would say another obstacle is with the principal resume, with my legit resume, I have encountered certain auditions where skill sets and, your experience have nothing to do with if they're going to give you that job or not. And it's fully, I've run into, someone told me I was too dark for, I won't say what role. I was like, oh, you tried my soul. Like, literally, that's tough, very tough. And I think will always be tough. But I also have to know that I will get the jobs that are meant for me to get. Yeah. And I, you just have to, I don't know, really believe that with your experience and what you have to offer will always override some people's stereotypes or some people's, limitations.
It's unfortunate that that's even still an issue. I mean, I understand, but
I think it comes from, art always mimics reality and society. Mm-hmm. And it's very much a part of society. If there's like a role that, is, I don't know, young Black girl playing this elite, blah, 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 you kind of tend to be stereotyped of, oh, okay, we're going to see the lighter skinned or the more coil haired girl, or like that sort of it fully happens. And it's, I don't know, I think that's just a part of the business. It always has been, and I try not to focus on it. You just, again, there are other opportunities happening for you, and there are certain things that are going to be more for you that are not going to be for, I also tell all of my students, typecasting is a huge part of the business, and you have to have really thick skin to get through it. Otherwise you just won't last in this business. So I think I've always kind of had that thicker skin. Being brown, you always have a thicker skin, I think, than most. You've heard more than I guess other people might have had.
Unfortunately.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
Conversation we could have on another day, because there's.
I know, that's a whole other.
There's plenty I could say about it, but I will hold my peace when we're talking about great things. But yes, I agree.
We are talking about great things, but you know what I mean. Yeah, there's certain, you know, I don't always want to play the role of the oppressed, you know, like it's 2016. That's a whole other conversation.
Mm-hmm. It is.
But what I can say is, you know, to all that are watching, to all that I just experienced that. How do you get over that? You just remember, and you know, that's the self-love, I know I have a lot to offer, and I know that there's always going to be more. There's always going to be more opportunities, and you just can't dwell on, the not one person's opinion.
Absolutely. You have to get extremely comfortable and bold and blatant with your self-love if you're going to be in this industry. In any capacity, not just as a dancer, or even just in the world, honey, because life will, don't get me on my soapbox, life will.
I feel like we need a cocktail, right?
Life throws some heavy blows, and you have to be able to pick yourself up and say, I am enough, and I am worth this, and you know what I mean? I
am enough. I'm going to get a shirt that says
Yeah, that has to be like your mantra so that you could, keep pressing forward. Honey, we can go to church over here. Let's keep it moving. Okay, so we talked about your biggest obstacle. So what are you working on now? Wink, wink.
Wink. Well, the Laroche Approach, let me see my shirt. I Stay
Booked. I love that.
And the back of it, the Laroche Approach. I don't know.
Nice. That is a nice shirt. Very nice.
Thank you. On sale on the website.
Hey.
So the Laroche Approach started off like 2 years ago as a method and a seminar, 90-minute seminar that I first debuted at SUNY Buffalo. They brought in, me as the alumni to come in and talk to the students of how are you successful, how, our students have so many things to ask. And that's one of the main things that I really credit my school for, and the professors there. They really want what's best for the students, and they know that there's some questions that they can't answer because they've been out of the business for so long, or they just don't know New York City like that and what the industry is like. So, I put together this seminar, and I was like, I'm going to come in and talk to the kids, and I'm going to come in and tell them the ins and outs and the things that they need to know that are never discussed. And, so many people have no idea when they're jumping in blind into this industry, because there was a lot that I did not know. So, it started off, and it is the seminar. I discuss from everything across the board, the difference between commercial world, legit, concert dance, as well as offering workshops and like audition techniques for those different things, because it's true. You can't walk into a Beyonce audition rocking the same outfit that you're going to wear for Ailey, or something like that. And you're also going to approach those auditions very differently. Right. So not auditions are the same. Right. We talk about camera ready, and we talk about managers versus agents. When do you get an agent? When do you get a manager? What's the difference? I then also offer my financial advice. I think no one really talks about how to be a freelancer. And that's the biggest part about the business. It's surprising that no one even discusses that. So I am very candid, let's talk about it. Let's come up with a budgeting plan, financial, let's talk 401k, let's talk health insurance, let's talk all of that. Because this is how you are going to sustain yourself as a human being, to then be an artist, to then be happy and healthy, and okay, how do I work in the rest? So I discuss all of that in the Laroche Approach, because that is my approach of how to be a working professional performer. And then I kind of, we open it up to the floor, we do Q&A. And so all questions that especially I find oh, that's a great question, I never really thought, I'll then add it and incorporate it into the seminar. So the beauty of the seminar is that it's always staying current and fresh and knowledgeable. You know, the more double booked I get, the more I'm gonna then hire some of my professional friends who can also input the same kind of structure that I do.
Right.
But again, the key is it's always given by a working professional so that you know you're getting true facts and knowledge of what the business is to date, because it's always evolving and it's always changing.
Absolutely.
So, as well as the seminar and the workshop like technique, kind of mock audition style, I offer Skype sessions, which has now become like one of my favorite things to do, is talking like this.
Yes.
But with pre-professionals that have really amazing questions that they just might be embarrassed to ask in class, that they feel like they should already know the answer to. And I'm like, no, there's so many people that, you know, not even professionals, but like dance teachers or dance studio owners that are really want to ask the same question you just asked. But, you know, so yeah, I get to create kind of like a personal plan and a personal like guidance path for these pre-professionals over the Skype session. So it's really cool. And we'll like talk depending on their schedule once a week or once a month, or, oh, we'll check back and touch base. So I kind of become like their career counselor.
Yes, a mentor.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah. So that's the Laroche Approach. That's what I offer.
That's awesome. And so are you still giving seminars? Is it only specific to the New York area, or have you guys expanded to other areas? Or
It's not. So this year I went back to SUNY Buffalo. And again, this is all in between the
your work
jobs that I do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I'll usually, if it's a seminar where I'm traveling to a university like Buffalo or Pace University, I did this year. I did Broadway Dance Center, which kind of opened it up to, okay, I'm not just going to limit it to the colleges, although I love my college, you know, I try and give them first kind of preferential treatment, if you will, because I think they really worked hard for it and they paid good money for it, and invested their time in their 4-year program. So I really love talking to the seniors and, you know, all of that. But I also did Broadway Dance Center, and they asked amazing questions. That was their pre-professional program. So next year I'm setting up other universities as well. Same, universities that I went to this year, but adding more. So we're talking to Point Park and setting that up, because I'm trying to make it so that whatever city I go to, I can do multiple universities and not just one. Right. Otherwise it becomes tricky to go back there, and, you know, so it's all a scheduling thing. And that's why Skype sessions have really become probably the easiest for students that are moving to the city now and really want answers and really have a lot of questions and, you know, guide me, and, you know, that way they don't have to wait for a seminar. But I'm also going to be in Rochester in August, and it's not a competition studio. It's more of a musical theater prep program. So that's where I'll be giving the seminar next. I believe it's going to be the week of August 23rd. Yeah. So that will be after a very special, really exciting project I'm working on now that I can't give too much on. It's the Donna Summer workshop.
Nice.
Really, really, really amazing and special. I'm very excited about it. I already did a couple of things for it, and it's really cool, very original. Yeah, and I'll be playing a fun role in that as well. So very exciting, very exciting summer. And I mean, who doesn't love Donna Summers? Like,
right.
So my Zhuzh, that whole era, like bring me disco, queen.
Yes. That's incredible, Jenny. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very
I
excited.
agree with you on those Skype sessions. I've just recently started doing some coaching sessions myself, but I think the questions that I've been getting have been more geared towards, like how to set up your pay rates for choreography and, in the choreography lane. And I think because I'm now in this online blogging kind of world, people are also interested in, I think, figuring out how to get, a presence online, which I think is great. There's not a lot of dance writers, and I think that there should be, people putting stuff online for us to read and talk about. So I think what you're doing is phenomenal, and I think it should be everywhere, and you should go to all the schools.
That is the plan.
Everybody should hear about it. So how can...
Meanwhile, I'm planning my wedding. It's like the craziest year.
You're engaged too? Congratulations! Go on, girl.
So literally, I was just on the phone with like the hotel and talking transportation and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait, I was like, I gotta go. Yeah.
So, wow, you've got a really fulfilling, quite exciting life you got going on there. I think so.
I try.
Quite literally living the dream, honey. So how can people connect with you? Where can they find you, Jenny?
So the LarocheApproach.com.
Okay.
You can email me there. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and it's all the same, Jenny with a Y, Laroche. Very simple, very easy. Follow me, tweet me, anything. I'm pretty quick to respond, I think. And yeah, those are my, I guess, ways of contacting me.
Nice. So in the video, we'll obviously put all of that up and in the description, and we're just gonna literally blast you everywhere that I am.
I'm so thrilled.
So in the Facebook group or anywhere that the working dancer is, Jenny Laroche will be there as well. So so thank you so much for taking time out of your oh so busy schedule to come and chat with the working dancer about everything that you're doing and everything that you have going on. And I think it's absolutely incredible. And I think when people think about having a dance career, they quite honestly probably think about the career that you have. So actually hearing someone talk about it and hear where you started and the things that you're dealing with, I think there needs to be more conversations like this so that we can know what to do when we get started and where to go. So keep doing what you're doing, keep your beautiful spirit, and please don't be a stranger to the working dancer, because we would love
I absolutely will not. I think what you have done with the working dancer is phenomenal. That's why I reached out to you. I was like, I applaud you, and I applaud everything you're doing. I really, truly, tremendously think it's amazing, and it's so necessary, and I wish I had Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Jenny. Find her at the Laroche Approach, right? .com. And until next time, happy dancing, folks. Bye.